People of Earth, wake up now. So yeah, let's talk about something that I believe that our society, see, we have this picture in our mind. Matter of fact, it's not in our mind, but it's in deep part of our brain, right? See, we live in a world that is shallow. Shallow meaning we live our life by how we see things, by using our eyes, right? And the way society is going now, it's really not how you see it. Like, okay, most people live their whole life not knowing the truth of what's actually happening, right? Most people live their whole life not seeing the truth, and yet they're blinded by all these concept ideas that they have in their mind when they were young. When they were young, they were imprinted with all these obsolete ideas. Meaning, when I'm talking about society, meaning, the old model of reality is, you go to school, you get a good job, you get a high paying job, and you be set for life, you be, live a normal life. I guess that's fine to a sense if you're not actually spiritually awakened, or you're not, if you're watching this and you know the truth about society, about how the idea that it's obsolete, because when we go to school we were programmed to think these things, to think these thoughts. The thought that, you see, your thoughts actually create your belief, actually filter out all the information that could help you out, right? It filter out the truth, if you will. Now, if you're here watching me and you're trying to find the truth, what is the truth? Well, the truth is, I remember the lady who was working for Mark Zuckerberg's, right? She said there's no absolute truth. It's relative, right? Now, but I'm saying truth is there another way to live a life instead of just following somebody else? They call it the herd mentality, while following everybody else, doing what they do. Like, for instance, like, let's say you listen to your uncle and your uncle say all this and you believe him because he's older than you and he have authority. But what if he's wrong and he never checked his preference? Most people live their life on what they see, on what's actually imprinted in their subconscious mind, if you will. Because the subconscious mind control how you behave, how you act. And so it's basically, a habit is an automatic process where you don't have to think about it, right? Now, here's the thing, that society think that you're successful if you have all these things, a family, or, a normal life, that's happiness or that's successful to people. That's meaning you won. But the truth is, what if that's not your happiness? What if your happiness is becoming a writer, being a producer, a movie star, an actor, a manager, a CEO, an entrepreneur, or something that you want to build into the world, and you make things and you influence them, right? And it's really interesting that most people, when they live their life, they're afraid to step out the line. Meaning, most people see this world as like just to live your life, just to be normal, Don't step out of line. Don't follow the crowd. Fit in. And that's a very limited life, I can see that, man. People, when you step out of line, when you step out not fitting in people, when you when you do this different things that people, let's say people value a certain thing, people value a certain rule, a certain boundary, a certain idea. If you step outside of these boundaries, you're going to be attacked by these people because you're interrupting their value, their core belief system that it should be this way. But it shouldn't be that way. It never should be that way. I believe that society has programmed us to believe these type of things, to obey them. If you actually read the history of school and why school was created, you will see something very interesting that that actually has not been shared. Now, if you step outside, if you're actually like me, we're actually, this message resonate with you because you probably are into, personal development, that that people living in the matrix, that the matrix has them. They have not seen that there's a spiritual side of so there's the physical and there's spiritual realities, right? Where if you step outside the realm of, you look around, everybody around you, everybody trying to keep up with the Jonases, everybody trying to be like the same as everybody else. But I can tell you this, no one can differentiate. If you're trying to be someone different, you have to step outside of being different. You're going to be attacked. You're going to be criticized for doing something you believe in. Because most people don't believe in what you're doing anyway. And, well, some, if you tell you, but the thing is, you have to find the right group. Because if you don't find the right group, if you find the wrong group, then that's not going to work out. People say success is having a car, having a family, having a whole bunch of things that were programmed into their mind. That's probably their success. But what if your success is to be someone? You want it to be somewhere. You want it to do something that's in you. Most people don't believe that. Most people just think that, I get that. I understand that you need to create a sense of a living. But most people are existing. Most people are lost in this world. Actually, they have not spiritually awakened. Meaning, what I mean by spiritually awakened, meaning the day when you are aware that society has been rigged, that it's been lying to you in your face through parents, teachers, your peers. The whole society is a game that people play in this. They don't see it as being a game. The most successful people, I remember Richard Branson. Richard Branson, if you don't know who he is, you should check them out. He said, in his opinion, rules are meant to be broken. Not the law, but the rule. Most people are afraid to break the rule. Most people are afraid to say the thing that they wanted to say. Because I believe that the whole society play a game if, for instance, people are so much afraid to actually say something they wanted to say, or they wanted to do something for so much long, but they never actually done it. They're afraid of rejection. You shouldn't take rejection personally, but what you should do is you gotta attack your fears. The fear, most people think fear are real, like it's gonna happen. No, fear is actually in your mind. Your mind tells a story. It plays stories in your head. Whether you're going to do this thing or you're going to do that thing, it might hurt you. No, man. What if you actually follow your heart, you follow what is inside you, listening? And what if you actually succeeded in your happiness, that you're fulfilled? It could be dangerous. That's why they have it. The right. I forgot. They have the left hand path and the right hand path, right? Where the right. I forgot the whole left and right hand, but society is based on being comfortable, all these things, right? And you live in this world, and if you get out of it, people don't like it. But imagine this: if you didn't do the thing that you wanted to do today, and you look back at your old age, like 60, 50, 60, 70, you're going to regret everything that you didn't do, right? You coulda, woulda, shoulda, all these things will be in your head, and you will regret it. And I remember my favorite CEO said you should go to a nursing home because that's all the regret is, right? And society played the most dangerous thing ever. I remember the late Earl Nightingale, who created audio, who is also mentor Bob Proctor. And he said most people are playing the game of following the follower. Everybody following everybody. They think they like this person know more than they do. They follow this and that, but they don't really know anything. They don't have they have inadequate knowledge. They don't have adequate knowledge, meaning that they don't have if you step out, if you step actually outside, you talk to people, they don't have the. Because I wouldn't say I have the knowledge, but I do have the knowledge a little bit about some things. But if you ask them about these type of things, they wouldn't know. Their mind is shallow. Most people stop reading. I mean, there are other opinions about reading. Most people say reading doesn't help you. Reading that I get that, right? But what if reading does help you? What if you can actually do something with it otherwise? Anyway, this whole society game is a trap. It brainwashed people to be obedience to the system. The same thing at schools. Student get out of line, teacher says, stay down. And if he doesn't, he go to the principal office, I know this is a little bit serious note. I want to joke though. You're sleeping in class, so I smack the crap out of you. Then that's dangerous, but you shouldn't do that. But hey, whatever happens, right? Society is funny, but most people never realize that they're hooked up into this. Like, if you actually watch The Matrix, most people are hooked up to this thing, and they can't get they have to obey the system, just like most people. They obey the system. And if you hear what they say, man, they're if you hear the word coming, okay, because I have read, I have hear and watch, there's actually a different vocabulary, words coming out of people's mouth, from the highly successful to the minimum successful and the average, and so on and on. Like, there's different words coming out of people's mouth and mindset. The successful people play at very high. They play at their own. They play it to win. Most people play it just to stay safe. They tiptoe through life, hoping that they make it safely to death. But as Jim Rohn says, everything that you do has risk. The day that he said, the day that you were born, it was risky, right? Everything that you do is risky. I don't get why, if you do something so different, that people will say this to you, right? It's because they have the reason why is because they have a concept in their mind. You see, we use our physical eyes to see, right? But it's our mind that interpret our reality. It's the mind that, if you imprint a idea into your mind and it go down deep to your subconscious control your behavior. So these ideas and beliefs become part of you. Therefore, it creates a lens which you see the world with. It controls how you act and behave towards yourself, the people, and the world at large, and society, right? It's those that who step outside of the boundary that is possible, and they think something. They create an idea. Therefore, they create an idea. It's just an idea. Therefore, they make it into a theory, and it become a fact. And then if they put it into, and they create a theory, and then they put it into action, it become a fact, right? These things that people play. get in line, obey the system, be average, be normal. My favorite CEO, Grant Cardone, he don't want to be average. Neither should you. You shouldn't be average. Why should you be average, huh? I believe that my favorite motivational speaker says, I don't know who you are. I don't even know you. But you have the potential to become great. You have greatness within you. And I do believe that, but most people don't believe that they have this genius in them that it can be brought out. Most people live their life thinking that they're stupid. I once was that. But once you understand the concept of the human brain a little bit, then you understand how to use the human brain instead of the brain using it against you, right? That's it for today, for about society. You gotta watch your brain, man. You gotta watch what you're putting in your mind, man. It's gonna control how you see the world. It's gonna control how you act towards your world. Because if you read the news, if you watch the news, it's all about mind control. It's attacking people fear. I get that. That sometimes there are real things happening in the world. I get that. But it's you who control your world. Stop letting these media control you. Stop letting people's opinions control you. Stop letting the ideas that is obsolete control how you live your life. Because the life that you live is not how the life that you want to live. It's not how what people want to live for themselves. It's probably different concept how they want to live for themselves. But most people project their reality onto you, and therefore that you should do this and that. From now on, whatever you do, just observe people behavior on how they talk, how they believe, and what